So I didn't want to bump this very cool game again. I didn't want it to turn into our Matt Damon on the Jimmy Fallon. No, is it Jimmy Kimmel show? This is Lonely Mountains Downhill, and this is our good friend Brett. Love the wardrobe, my friend. Good to see you. So we're going to play a little Lonely Mountains Downhill from Thunderful, which means that we didn't have time for my review of the Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan. I'll review that tomorrow, and it will go live on the channel tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to spoil the review, but I've been playing that one. This is a cool game. This is a downhill mountain biking game that is very accessible, and it's really, I think, obviously stripped of a lot of texture detail. It doesn't look like super hyper real or anything like that, but the physics are there, and the accessibility is there. It's fun to just press on the trigger and get some acceleration and start going down the hill, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Some good stunts, and you can find your own sort of, your shortcut routes and things like that. This is Let's Play and Chat for those that don't tune in all the time, and thank you for finding us here on EP Live and
goes fast.
And checking us out. Thank you for joining the show, and thank you to all the people that tune in regularly. Love you guys. And the folks that won, I wrote down the names of. I think Blake wrote into the chat what you're supposed to do. But Dr. Game Love, Hip Hop Dan, and Danilo Dantas, you all won copies of the really cool NBA Jam book that Rayon wrote, and I can't wait to read it myself. What do they have to do, Blake? They have to send us a private message. Send us a DM on Facebook.com/Electric Playground, or on Twitter, it's EP Daily TV. Private message there with your email address. We'll share it with Rayon, and you will get a copy of the book for your reading pleasure. And let's get into some Let's Play and Chat. If you've got any questions or any comments about stuff you watched today, if you are lamenting the fact that we can't play Robotron on a Nintendo Switch in 2019 like I am, let's commiserate, my friends. VR Grid, absolutely. I've been recently playing it in VR just today. What's he talking about? ROB still holds up. What is that? What's ROB? Rush of Blood, yeah. Fantastic game. Yeah. Yeah, I put that VR, the PlayStation VR, on my wife's head, and when that first came out, because that was one of the first launch games, and it blew her mind too. It wasn't just me. My wife doesn't play that many video games, but she was really, really spooked and thought it was super cool. It's a great game to demo. It's very simple. You sit in a roller coaster and you get scared out of your mind. Yeah, very cool. I thought of some other things too with the Halloween stuff. You know what? I might do another segment, a little more family-friendly Halloween games, because there's lots of good ones out there. Somebody mentioned Simpsons Hit and Run as a Halloween favorite, and yeah, got my mind thinking. Kayan Kashani says, "What are your top 3 scary movies?" I didn't really put a lot of time into this to think about film, but let me see what comes to my mind right away. Seven was pretty creepy. It's not a horror movie, but it was it worked quite well. Oh God, that's a good question. Oh, The Exorcist and Alien, they're up there for sure. Alien for sure. That's a very good question. I'm sure that there's movies that are scary that are not necessarily horror movies that freak me out,
Snailed it. Yeah.
The Shining is cool.
How do I like Papa Willie?
Jeff Meacham, hey Vic, when is Brianna McIver going to be on the show? That's a good question, Jeff. I don't keep in touch with Brianna. She left the show. I think she's working with us, like in sports in some capacity. But she was fantastic. She was great on the show. I should reach out and get her back on here. That'd be really cool to catch up with her.
I'm not making it.
Yeah, good question. Blair Farrell, if the person playing the game double taps his hat, will they be then transported into the game?
Yes,
so,
100%.
Yeah, will you? No,
Reboot.
he's still here. He's still here. Question.
I get like the scar and the golden eye for anyone who understands the reference.
Seth says the Human Centipede. Shiver. Yeah, send me some. Never seen that movie. Never will. Actually, The Room was one of the scariest movies I ever saw, and some of you got to watch it in real time with me.
Buried was one of the worst I've ever done.
Oh, Buried was freaky.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, that was a freaky movie.
I'm claustrophobic. I was like...
That was me that recommended The Simpsons, Vic. That's Nintendo Boy 17. I'll wait for the PlayStation 5. I had a PS4 VR and was so disappointed I returned it. Mike, being hard-nosed on the PSVR. Yeah, it's got its limitations, PSVR, but honestly I felt like it was a pretty unbelievable console-specific launch for virtual reality. But PS5 VR should be smoking cool. Can't wait for that. Silence of the Lambs, that's a good one, Rick Savage.
Have a question?
Drag Me to Hell, they're just giving some good ideas. Hey Vic, when are you going to have Evangeline Lilly back on the show, VR Grid? I ran into her at Fan Expo in 2018, and she was wonderful. We had a nice conversation. But, we're not friends, right? She's in a different stratosphere, like she's a superhero for crying out loud.
Yeah, but
she is the Wasp.
Than video games.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be great to have her here. Maybe one day when
Let's
she's
just get the
back.
traction. Let's get the community, get the tweets out.
Yeah, if you guys all tweet out to
tweet
Evangeline
out.
to
Someone
say
put
we
a
want you to
tweet.
come
Let's just
and be.
mass like it, and she'll come.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually. I know that she has good memories of working with me and working with EP. I met her at Comic-Con a couple of years ago. I met up with her at Comic-Con, and she had written a children's book called The Squicker Wonkers, and she gave me one and signed it to my daughter Ruby, and so it's in my daughter Ruby's collection, which is pretty sweet. She is cool. She was always fantastic. And in fact, I was auditioning, I know I've told you guys this before, but I was auditioning her to be a correspondent on EP before she got cast in Lost. She was frankly too freaking cool and smart and destined to become a star that I felt like, she was a hardware girl on the show where she was showing off controllers and things like that. And she was great at that, she really came committed to do everything. And she was just fun to hang out with, and so we shot her. We got some audition tapes, which maybe one day, if she's cool with it, I'll show some of that stuff one day. But we were talking to her about actually being a correspondent out there and doing interviews with different game developers and stuff. And that would have been, and it's some kind of alternative universe. Evangeline Lilly is the host of Electric Playground in 2019 and Earth 620 or something like that. But she was wonderful and a very cool person to work with, and I couldn't be prouder and happier for her with all the success that she really earned. Clearly she kicks ass in all the projects that she's in. Okay, another good family-friendly Halloween game, Animal Crossing. Good suggestions. I was making a joke, but I love the stories that follow. Thank you, VR Grid. Question: why did EA purchase NBA Jam when they already had NBA Street? Sam I Am 111. I think that's why. I think they wanted to, be able to squish one, and they tried a couple of different ones, and then they've squished both of them, which is insane. Oh. What are they doing? Clearly, the world is ready for some arcade sports action. What the hell are they doing with SSX? How about they stop working on games for microtransaction purposes and give us SSX and new NBA Jam and some FIFA Street like we all want?
Money.
You know what I'm saying? I guess the shareholders wouldn't be as happy because the money wouldn't come flowing as much, but yeah, we'll see.
You know what this game feels like? It feels like Skate.
Best scary game is a little bit, right?
Yeah, there's a sound, and it's just like, it sounds like a real bike. I don't go outside a lot, but I'm assuming this was
super cartoony.
The bike sounds like
what you've seen on television.
Yeah, exactly.
People riding bikes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're 100% right.
With drone
from what
footage.
I've seen from YouTube videos, it sounds like a real bike.
Okay, I've got time for one more question. Gamer Freak 84. I talked about the Fallout 76 subscription stuff in the rundown, so check that out. Comment: why no Suffering games in that top 5? I had to stop playing those back in the day. Faramir, I never played the Suffering games. I took a list at a bunch of spooky games, and those were the ones that I picked out as my first 5. And it certainly could change. You finished. Bravo, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Bravo. This may be a first. We have a person playing live and getting applause from the crowd for finishing something.
That doesn't happen
in
often.
Let's Play in
doesn't
chat.
Happen often.
And I didn't start the game with like 0 health and everybody's shooting at you, which is.
And also, we're like halfway through a tutorial, like trying to get through the tutorial.
Yes. Okay. Last question. Actually, I'm going to shout this comment out because it's true. VR Grid says, people would buy SSX. We would buy SSX. Don't bang the table, Vic. Let's see.
You can customize this stuff? That's so cool.
Okay. I had a nightmare that Vic and Tommy got a sex change and renamed themselves to Victoria and Tammy. Okay. We're going to end that. And we got somebody that would watch that show right there. That's awesome. We're going to end the show on that note. Okay, so you guys all think about that for a while. There's some nightmare fuel for you. That's our episode of EP Live for you today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for coming down to the VFS Cafe at 390 West Hastings here in Vancouver. We are coming back on Friday, but we're starting a little bit earlier because there's an event Friday evening in this space. So we are starting the show at 2:30 on Friday, and we are lining up some legends from the animation world. So stay tuned for that. Watch our Facebooks and Twitters and all that stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you all for your support. Oh, and Johnny Dark, I forgot to thank you for your super chat, by the way. Versus between Doom Eternal and Call of Duty. Doom got pushed, so it's coming out in 2020. So I think it'll be something in 2020 that we might do a versus of. But I do like doing the versus for sure. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure that until we see you next time, you play forever.